This is Late Night Health. This is the radio show that cares about the most important part of your life, your health. Hi, I'm Mark Alyn, and during the next 2 hours, we're going to explore a wide variety of topics that touch each and every one of us. For example, during hour 2, we're going to be talking with Joe Luciani. Joe has got a brand new book out called Thin From Within, learning about how we can drop weight. I mean, he told me that the average 45-year-old woman has been on 61 diets. We'll find out more about that during hour 2. Also, our friend and regular contributor, Robert Clancy, will be joining us, talking about overcoming life's challenges during hour 2. During this hour, we're going to speak with Patty Wood in about 25 minutes. Is water safe? She is from a grassroots organization called Grassroots, and we'll be talking to Patty in about 30 minutes. We're going to start right now with a gentleman who just absolutely amazes me. He's a very giving guy. We met about 4 or 5 months ago. We had lunch together, and then I saw him in San Diego when I was at a retreat, and I was doing some video work, and Gary just jumped in and helped out. He was just terrific. Gary-Stuart, the author of Master Your Universe, How to Direct and Star in Your Own Life. Gary, welcome to Late Night Health.
Thank you. This is just thrilling to be here. Thank you very much, Mark.
Our pleasure. And, of course, I forgot to mention, the guy running the whole show is, of course, the insane Daryl Wayne.
Yes, thank you, Daryl. The man behind the curtain, as they say.
That's it.
My hand is on the valves.
on the valves. All right, Gary, you're a certified Constellation Healing facilitator.
Yes.
When I first heard that, I thought stars, Constellation.
Right, most people do.
Right. Was I wrong?
Yes. Well,
I've been wrong before.
It's
okay.
a term that was coined years ago because we all come from a family system, and you could say it's like the constellation. If you look on the ground at your family, people are in certain places. You have the mother in one place, father in one place, child in one place. During a constellation experience, which I'll go into in a little bit, you start to see the movements of the family system that create a different picture. And the picture you saw was very different than the belief you have about the picture. So we're going into kind of the emotional field of what is unresolved in your family system that creates a new picture.
Which you basically clear out the garbage then?
Yes, absolutely. We don't view it as garbage. We feel like each family's, what I talk about in my new book, Master Your Universe, each family's kind of on their own soul mission collectively. Well, we as individuals also have our soul mission as part of that family. And the reason I wrote the book, because Constellation seems so abstract, that I wrote the book that what if our family system is like a dysfunctional home movie? And we're an extra.
I can relate to that.
All of us. And we're an extra in their movie. But why do we go through life being an extra in other people's movies rather than being the lead actor and star of our own movie that we choose to create and we feel empowered to create?
A lot of people have health issues that seem to be genetic.
Yes.
Handed down. Diabetes is
Right.
one that I
Absolutely.
can think of.
Heart disease, yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Oh, we're on the same wavelength.
Yeah.
Are these connected to constellation therapy?
Yes. So with constellations, we use representatives. So basically a constellation, we're making the unconscious conscious. And once we're conscious of something, we can be empowered to make a different choice. In many family systems, I'll give you like an Irish example for our Irish listeners. And please don't take this as a stereotype. Irish people are known to drink. And so when I'm working with Irish people, we end up at a cemetery in Ireland with people who are representatives for living or dead ancestors who never resolved the grief from the potato famine or the British invasion, which was actually genocidal back then. And that grief, to get away from the grief because it was too traumatic, they started drinking. So then the next generation drinks. So you have a lineage of alcoholism, but constellations take us back to the source grief to resolve it, almost like Back to the Future, the movie. We go change something in the past. We resolve the grief through the reps who actually represent dead ancestors. Everyone's crying, and then the alcoholism is a symptom of repressed grief, that if the grief is gone, does the symptom have to be there?
Wow. So I mean, you mentioned the Irish, so the Holocaust with the Jews,
Absolutely.
The Turkish Armenian conflict.
I've dealt with it all. Yeah. So with the Holocaust, which is very interesting, I've had two Jewish men came to me last year. They've never slept their whole life. They have one eye open. They cannot relax at night. We're talking they're in their 60s, so that's a full lifetime. We actually were back in Auschwitz using reps for the SS and their mother or father, whoever was captive, or plus other family members, since they had the Constellation, and we resolved the history of the fear and terror of being caged in a camp like an animal. They started sleeping the next day 8 hours a day. 2 men last year.
Whoa. Now, a few weeks ago, I actually attended a healing session.
Yes.
I watched it. I watched 2 healings. They each had different feelings, different flavors,
absolutely.
Right? The first one, I told you at the time, I felt very tired and sleepy.
Yes, absolutely.
The second one was more energetic.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently you work with more women than men.
Yeah, women seek out healing quicker, in a faster way than men. I'll say, not that men don't want to heal, but I think they're so busy making money and having careers. And if you really look at the females of our species, they're the caretakers of the future.
They are.
And they
also work and stuff, but they also tend to go to doctors and seek help easier and faster than
right, because men have the macho syndrome, the John Wayne syndrome. You could call unless my arm's fallen off, then I'll go see the doctor. But until it falls off, I'll work another day.
But I saw these 2 men, grown men.
Yes.
One was I mean, they were both in their 50s, I think.
Absolutely.
And they were on the floor crying at the end of the session.
Mm-hmm.
They also had participants who did not know these men.
No one knew anyone or the subject.
They didn't know what they were really portraying in the whole family sitcom, if you will.
Right. Or the family system, the movie of the family system. And I forget what was happening in that, but a lot of times it's when somebody comes to be a representative as a workshop, they don't have the filters or blocks emotionally that they will have learned from their family system is taboo for men to cry, so to speak. When they're in someone else's family system, they can be totally emotionally available, tune in to the deeper trauma of that family system as if it's their own. And everyone who has a cathartic experience, men generally don't cry in public. No less coming to a workshop and crying over something that's not even their family. So it's very powerful.
When we come back in a few minutes during our next time together, we're going to talk about your distance work.
Yes, absolutely.
And, we'll do that. And we should mention that Gary is featured on our website. You can listen to Gary's our interview if you'd like to pick it up again, and there'll be information about Gary's website and how to get in touch with him. All of that at latenighthealth.com, latenighthealth.com. And during April of 2016 and into May, Gary has some sessions that are open to the public.
Absolutely. Every Thursday and Saturday in Santa Monica. I just wowed Santa Barbara last night, and I'll be in Westlake May 15th, so I'm all over the place.
And he's there. Would you say that the bottom line of your 17 years of doing this is that you're here to help people?
Yes. I really want to serve people, and then after the break, we'll talk about multi-generational disease patterns.
Oh, all right, good. What did you do before you did this?
Well, I actually started in massage. I actually moved to LA to become a stand-up comic, and then after 11 years of beating my head against the wall of fame, I became a massage therapist. And I was getting all this information when I massage people and I was kind of told they need to hear this. They need to hear this. There's anger in their back. There's guilt on their shoulder. I started talking while we were doing body work, and they said, "Oh my God, you just lifted a rock off me. Oh my God, I feel so." So they blamed it on the massage, but I was tuning into the emotional stuff.
So this was intuitive.
Yeah, and I didn't know I was in their ancestral field while I was touching them. Once I discovered Constellation, I said, "Oh my God, I've been in their ancestral field with it carrying in their shoulder or back," which isn't theirs, it's their ancestors.
Absolutely fascinating.
We share their DNA.
And does we've talked about this in recent weeks.
Yeah.
DNA changes.
Right, it changes, but the energetic field around the DNA, which is proven by J. Craig Venter, he decoded the first human genome. He said there's an epigenetic field that's ordering the genetic expression. It's like an invisible conductor telling the piano what notes to hit. And he said it's going to take him 50 years to uncover the invisible forces that trigger the gene expression. The genes are there, but they're expressed yes cancer, no cancer, good immune, bad immune, yes diabetes, no diabetes. It's being played by an invisible force. I believe constellations are accessing the invisible force of the ancestral patterns that parts of our DNA belong to them.
Do people look at you and they find out what you do for a living?
Yes.
And they go, woo-woo, this is...
yeah, it's actually so real. They're shocked at how real and pragmatic it is to change their life. And we'll talk after the break about the life changes people have, because no one in their wildest dream could make their dreams come true so quickly.
Wow. Well, Gary is going to be joining us for the whole 2 hours of our show today as our co-host, and we'll be talking with our guests, including the Robert Clancy, who wrote the foreword to his book, Master Your Universe, How to Direct and Star in Your Own Life. That's something that Daryl and I do, of course, each and every week here on Late Night Health.
But we don't play us.
We don't play. I play Daryl, and he plays, anyway, something like that. Coming up.
Creepy.
It is creepy. Or I'm creepy. I'm not even sure. Join us at latenighthealth.com, latenighthealth.com. Let your friends and neighbors know about Late Night Health. We'd appreciate that. All right, Daryl and I will be back with our in-studio guest, Gary-Stuart, as Late Night Health continues. Don't go away. Lots more coming up on Late Night Health.
You're listening to Late Night Health with Mark Alyn. The show continues in a moment.